Hi everyone, it's Bitcoin from the Big Chubowski for the 20th season of Grand Arena. Pretty excited about this one because we've got the extended 5v5 format, as I'm sure you're all well aware. Unfortunately, mine didn't go off with a flying start because I am unfortunately facing a auto deploy in the first round. And to be honest, it was quite an unexpected auto deploy. Well, before I set my defense anyway, because this guy has 870k lifetime score and 4 Galactic Legends with the ultimate Jedi Master Kenobi, as you can see here. He was polite enough to send me a message and to tell me that he completely forgot about the altered schedule and as a result missed out on setting his defense. And yeah, I totally understand. There's probably been quite a few people who were caught off guard by that if they're sort of creatures of habit. But one way I anticipated this was by using a free bot on Discord called PrimeBot, where you can track the lifetime score of your Grand Arena opponents and then see as they change. So if someone still hasn't deployed anything by a certain amount of hours into the defensive phase, then you know that they might actually be auto-deploying. Now that's just one way to deal with it. Other ways are in the first round, of course, where literally in this screen you can go to their profile and check if they have any score yet. And at the start of the very first round, this would logically be 0. Now afterwards, of course, it becomes a lot more difficult to anticipate this at the start of every week, because you don't necessarily know what they locked in with, unless like what score they locked in with, unless you're tracking that. So that would take a little bit more work. And there are of course also people who aren't online around the sort of the reset time, so it's not like you can set a defense in the very last minute. So it's a bit trickier if your time zone is not very supportive or you aren't online around that time. For me, usually I am, so it doesn't pose any problems. But just some things to keep in mind there. What you could do if you can't enter their ally code soon enough in the PrimeBot, then you could at least write down their lifetime score at the time of checking and then see if it has risen substantially. Which, like, of course, it can be some feats, but normally seen for a full defense now, it has to rise by 1100. So that's quite a bit, and you would definitely notice a change in that jump. So don't need to use bots, but it's pretty easy and convenient. So yeah, I'm fighting Fadalorian from the Death Star port designers. I guess he really likes the Mandalorian, and he really likes the YouTuber The Playbook / Fatal, and this is the mashup or something like that. Yeah, it's a very good account. I would have loved to have a legit match against him. He does not have Ki-Adi-Mundi there in the JMK team, so I'm sure you've all seen a lot of these people in your arenas. I find it pretty entertaining as someone who has spent a lot of time on Ki-Adi-Mundi streams and now does have him, and there have been a lot of good accounts that sort of parked themselves in lower guilds and never really cared to move up, and then they wail on JMK and ultimately find out that his team is just not that good without Ki-Adi-Mundi. Yeah, I really like the way CG went about that, because otherwise there's just no incentive for people to move up and they'll always just hang back in all of these guilds. So yeah, maybe I'll get a proper rematch against him another time, but for now I'll have to deal with that auto deploy. And the way I set my defense is I basically always have a standard plan. What if my opponent auto deploys? You need to have that ready, because if you want to set your defense in, for example, the last 5 or 10 minutes, then you need to be able to very quickly put that defensive plan out. Otherwise, you risk only having half your map filled because you're still thinking if you want to keep a team or not. So that just needs to be a standard thing that you have somewhere that you can quickly fall back on. Now, what it does raise is another question. What if both players are actually waiting to see if the other one's going to auto-deploy, and you just sat there for I don't know how many hours wondering if the other person's going to play, if they're going to set a defense or not? Well, there's a couple simple things you can do. You could already set a few teams where you're certain you're going to set them on defense regardless, because if an opponent auto-deploys, there's still a chance they could kill something if you set super weak teams, and you don't really want that. So you need to make sure that you have a strong team in both of your front zones, because in my case, for example, I have to break a zone with 4 Galactic Legends. If I fail to do that and my opponent manages to clear half the map, then it could actually become a bit tricky there. So as you can see here, I've got GAC and I've got a couple other decent teams, but that wouldn't help me a ton on offense. And then down here, I've got in this case Darth Revan without Malak. I figured Malak wasn't really needed there to stop anything. So basically, even if this guy would try, I know he's probably not going to, but if he would try, then he would not be able to break either of my front walls. And then basically everything other than those strongest teams, I can just keep for offense. I could have even kept Grievous for offense, but I'm counting, and Night Sisters too, I guess. But I'm counting on the teams that I have to be able to break what he said on defense with the auto-deploy. So I should be fine there, and then his back zone can just be really weak. Stuff you don't really need. You can make it even weaker if you want. I don't really see the point in it. I just don't envision myself using those teams. But, you know, maybe things don't go that well, or I have game crashes, or those fun things coming up. But I hope not. So another thing that you can do is just also the good old message, like at the start of a matchup, just send the person a message and be like, hey, looking forward to our match or something, and then at least you know if they don't even respond to you, or if they do respond to you, then you know they've seen it, and maybe the odds of them setting a defense are a little bit higher. Or if you notice in their Grand Arena history that they very often don't set a defense and auto-deploy, then you can message them to ask, and who knows, maybe there's an actual chance that they'll do it. But yeah, those are all different options that you can get into to anticipate auto-deploys that you can just go with whatever works for you. So then the way you want to plan your attack is also pretty tricky, because obviously you get a really big mix. Now what I do already know, and what you can check in their roster, is what is that back zone going to be? Because the teams are just selected based on the order of GP, after the Galactic Legends of course, which cannot be combined in teams. So if we look at this one, for example, the Kylo Ren team there that ends in Hermit Yoda, if I then go to the guy's roster, and I scroll through by power, then you know here, alright, it's the Kylo Ren team is over here. Then the one underneath is also in defense, the Mandalorian team. So I know that the three teams in the back are essentially going to be these three, and in this exact order. So it's going to be Bastilla Fallen lead with Bosk, etc. It's going to be Wampa lead, and it's going to be Hux lead. So this helps you a bit in planning, because you can anticipate, are there leaders in a team that have good synergy with certain team members that I need to be careful for? Are there any elements in there that would stop a certain counter from happening? Like if I wanted to use my bounty hunters against the Wampa team, am I not going to get in trouble because Thrawn might fracture my Bosk, or Traya might isolate him and then they start hitting other team members? So those are the types of things that you can think about to sort of plan your attack a bit better, so that you don't send in a team that's not going to work. Now against the GLs, obviously, that's a lot trickier. You really need to think carefully about the Galactic Legend there, and if they have characters underneath them that are boosted by their faction essentially, or their leadership. Like any light side character under Rey is going to get that damage immunity. Dark side characters under SLK or SEE get the speed boost. So these are all kinds of things that you can consider and think about. If JML, for example, is not paired with any Jedi, then you know his leadership is not going to be used really. So you have to be careful there in picking whatever you're going to use, and hopefully I'll give you a good showing of how I go about selecting these. So let's just get into the map and show you what I'll be doing. Now when there is an auto-deploy, it's pretty tricky and pretty dangerous to think about feats too much. I don't recommend doing so, unless you can like do a feat where you pair some weak characters with the Galactic Legend. That's an option, but other than that, be very careful. The weakest teams are still going to be a lot stronger than many of your teams. So you have to be pretty smart about that. Now against the Rey team here, because there's a couple light side characters underneath, but none of them are particularly high damage dealers, I think over there SCE is going to make most sense. I could add the Armorer, but Armorer has a risk of getting the cooldowns reduced by JKR, getting stunned by R2, or feared by Darth Revan. So that's just not a good option. The only option I have there is to add Watt. And then I can throw in other characters like the Mandalorian, the Armorer for a feat. But I would rather pair those with SLK, because he has a pretty good chance of wiping out a whole team before they take a turn, and thus before they kill my team members and I drop banners. So with SEE, that's really just not going to happen. And thus I make that choice. So as always, against any Rey composition, you just throw on the tank tech, assuming you have good modding, of course. And good modding meaning you have very high health. So I can link these, then probably, I would guess JKR's fastest, maybe BB-8's a little bit faster, but this is link JKR. Darth Evan's also going to be pretty fast, but I think the speed boost that Rey gives to JKR is going to make him faster than Darth Evan. Looks about even here. And then it's just the same thing that you always do. Some of the other teams are not going to be this straightforward though. Let's see if we can keep Watt around to help tank the ultimate. Let's do this. Well, to help tank it, I shouldn't really need the help, but it's just a more comfortable feeling when you have it. Alright, since JKR is definitely gonna die from the ultimate, I might as well first hit some of the others. And now I'm ready for ultimate. And I might as well use it. I could re-link first, but to be honest, I don't think I need to. I think some of those characters on the field there are gonna go down to this ultimate here. I'm not 100% sure there. That's a cooldown reduction, so I'll have to wait a second. And now relinking does become a bit more interesting because, yeah, otherwise I really only hit JKR. But I think I'll just use the ultimate right now. Darth Evan still goes down, so that's pretty good. And now we link R2 and BB-8. And then same as before, no need to focus on either of those. You can just go immediately for Rey, because that's where most of the progress has to be made. And the others will just evaporate to the ultimate once it's around. And there's plenty of protection to get through here. And she's back in ultimate. I'm gonna drop my protection and my health here. Hopefully the health can get back to full at least. Another alternative option is to try to leave BB-8 or R2 alive. But the odds of surviving that ultimate for them are pretty low when you've got SE all powered up. So 59, it's not going to be pretty banners in an auto-deploy either way, but that's kind of the downside of it. So even if you get one like this, you can probably wave your top 10 chances goodbye, which is kind of unfortunate, but that's part of the game. I could have also done JML on Rey here, but it's kind of the same story. They have a lot of light side characters. JKR could direct focus someone and Rey could whirlwind them out. There weren't really any good options there, so I think I have to go with the JML here. Alternative being I use JMK, and then I use JML on the SLK team. I also somewhat like that, but JMK isn't super awesome against JML either. I think that's actually what I'll go with though. So let's pull out the new toy. We're not going to hold back too much on team composition here. So let's put in Ahsoka and Ki-Adi-Mundi. General Kenobi I don't necessarily need here, because I can just go with Mace. Maybe I'll end up regretting that, but I kind of doubt it, to be honest. And then I think Shaka is going to make sense and keep some of the Padme team together. So let's see how that goes. JKL is obviously still going to be annoying, but I think I'll build up to ultimate pretty quickly. And hopefully sort of keep Mace alive. Should probably immediately try to go for JKL once I get the chance. Dispel this. Because he is still the biggest threat on the field. So let's call Shaq here to dispel that. Well, Ahsoka also does, but there we go. That's a pretty quick fight there. So Mace lost his damage immunity there. Hopefully that ends up alright. Let's see if we can get Kylo Ren masked down quickly. I think he's going to heal a fair bit from his unique still, but healing immunity here is going to very quickly finish that. And now I'm kind of considering to try to go after Shaq because she's going to counter and dispel my mace. Or she's just going to immediately die because Kiadimundi is a freaking beast. And now Jedi Master Luke can't really build his ultimate anymore. So that's pretty nice. Let's get rid of that. Okay, not super fond of that. Let's go into ultimate here. Hopefully pick off Ray Jedi training. Armor Shred definitely on JML. Just speed up the fight a bit more. I might as well leave her alive at this stage. I don't think she's really gonna cause any trouble. Besides whacking mace every now and then. Yes, I'm super sad that you reset the cooldowns on my mace window. True genius. A 59, that's pretty good. I'm happy with that one. It's easy to focus on SLK here because he's obviously the biggest threat. But Kenobi here is going to be really annoying with the taunt. And I'll probably have to kill him first. And there's also Fives who's super tanky. Basically lots of high value targets. And especially this guy should not be taking any turns, because the more crits he gets down, the more it feeds SLK's stir meter. Thinking if I want to hold the stun for now, and just focus on killing GK. Let's do that for a bit. And try and see if we can just stop this guy from getting too many specials out. So he's gonna keep hurting my protection. Let's do something about that. There we go. I can heal up here. It's probably gonna be a 55 no matter what I do, but if I can make it better in some way, that would be very nice. Really thought he still had an ability block. Oh boy. That's problematic. He got double crits there. Dang. Not happy with that at all. Should have probably brought Bastilla or something. This is gonna end up hurting, I think. Well, this is just in time. Guess I should have waited with old Ben's ability block then, as that one was sort of a double up with the Efflux. I should still get him down before he gets another special in though. There we go. Okay, let's start using Hermit Yoda to heal if I can. Maybe I shouldn't have put him all the way there in the back. Put this on him. Yeah, it's probably not going to happen. So 55 as expected, or 56 actually, with JKL there at full protection. I'll still have to be very careful of General Skywalker here and Grandmaster Yoda. Maybe I'm underestimating this one, but we'll see. Let's go for Gas first. Heck, maybe even Vader first actually, to just avoid ability blocks all around. Yeah, let's do that. Swap to him. Just dispel all the foresight. Okay, I'll throw this one at Gas. I'd rather go for him. Vader can go down slowly. Awesome to get rid of him already. Grandmaster Yoda is going to be next. He's got a lot less health and protection in general, so I figured it would be nicer to go for Gas there. Heal up Rey, go into ultimate in a sec. This should probably kill Vader. Yeah, pretty easy here. And I might kill Django with an ultimate. Please don't get another shot off, he probably will. Well, rip, sir. Okay, he goes for... That's pretty interesting. The double ultimate there. Or maybe we can call it the proper ultimate, because that's kind of how it is. Alright, everyone has full protection, so just gonna wait until my final ultimate and then I should be done. I've got full health too. So let's fill it up entirely. Swap the Ray. And maybe get a 60 here. Jeez, that's a tanky dude. Gonna need another lifeblood round. Otherwise he will burn through the protection. So yeah, it might be a 59, it's whatever really. Yeah, that's the protection down, okay. I mean, if her protection goes or my health, it's really just the same. Swap over to Ray and finish him off. There we go, GL wall down for 60 on this one. So only the JML one that I dropped a fair bit on. Fleets are obviously also a mess, so part of the equation is also keeping your best fleets for offense. I mean, the lineups usually aren't too strong, though the negotiator one got pretty lucky there. But you still don't want to underestimate it and fall short. So first target that I'd like to take down here is going to be Echo. There we go. Now since I can't get feared, but actually Piet hasn't marked me yet, doesn't make sense. So let's go for Kylo Ren first. Okay, instantly dead. I'm not marked yet, so he could drain anyone out still. And then my whole team's gonna get feared, so let's not do that, let's just do a basic here. I can probably risk this, I don't think he's gonna do so much damage to trigger anything. Put this one on dark, so that even if he drains, it won't really give him too much health and protection. And then I can just stomp him out, hopefully. That's the first death there. He unfortunately lost the death mark though, that kind of sucks, but this should kill. Everyone's full health and protection here, that's also the benefit there of burning through one of my lives, because that makes it a 60. So why not, let's give it a try. It's a team I want to use in the future anyway, and if it doesn't work, then that's a good learning for me. I should still be able to get through, because I didn't really have a plan for this team initially anyway. So what's interesting here is that the turret comes in, and then since they have three sort of summons here, GBA and Mothma don't really get to do anything. So they're essentially pretty useless. And I can just get started with the burning. And then sort of focus on Beskar Mando probably. I think that's going to make most sense. So who do I want to not take any turns for now? I think probably just daze him so that he doesn't gain turn meter. And then now I can kill him before he gets to do that. Asajj obviously gains a bunch. She will dispel, so Not sure how valuable this is going to be. But at least it makes her use that rather than anything else. Ouch, dude. Okay, get a new burning going. Get a new expose. It's pretty fun. I have not used these characters in forever. Pull him back. I'm still not in control of GBA. There we go, that's... And still no expose. What is this? Let's just make sure arc is down. Right, counter chance. Pretty important to remember those details. I think this is gonna kill him. Heal me a little bit at least. See if I can finish this off with Illuminated Destiny, but doesn't look like it. So that's gonna be a 58. But still pretty good considering the relics I had to take out, so I'm fine with that. So this one here, what makes sense because you see what and there's no Han on their end, is to just use my CLS team. And then I can just instantly shoot out what. If he's not a concern, then Padme is gonna be mildly annoying at best. Ooh, I didn't get him. Oh, look at this. Look at this. This is just beautiful. I'm not gonna swap the stance. That's not useful. Let's go for Chewie. I'm considering to fish for a stun on 3PO, but... Yeah, let's push him back. Which I was thinking, can I because of Padme? I just didn't remember, but I guess I can't. Alright, them gone. Then this guy. Push that back. And this should be close to full. I'm very happy he went for... Well, that was a counter actually. That's why he went for him. So that's also a 59. So I'm getting pretty good banners given the preparation that I've done. And that's kind of the point of it. You can not prepare as well, but then you'll struggle to get through and you're just going to get a lot of ugly banners. So here you go, exactly the teams as I described them, with a minor difference here of Daka. Daka was not in the initial lineup there with Hux. I think it was Ahsoka Tano. But the rest is identical, so this can sometimes happen if like two characters are the same GP, which is pretty common actually, or it can happen if someone changed some mods around and thus raised the character slightly since you check the roster. So that can affect some plans, but in general it's pretty doable to sort of predict what characters are going to be in the back zones this way. So this one almost certainly going to be a 55. Padme getting stunned in the opener is the worst case scenario. But look at all those beautiful buffs to this spell. Yeah, Padme took a really big beating here. I'm glad Rex isn't in the lead at least, that would suck. Alright, so we're already at 55 banners anyway, so it's just a matter of killing. Maybe GK is actually an exception. But I don't think so. Definitely want to kill Rex before he does anything. Anakin up next. Okay, I gotta say it's pretty funny to use your clone freaking Sergeant to kill stuff here. Let's do this, and still not down. Make sure I last full. There we go, 32 stacks. Probably the ugliest match because actually JML was 56 still. Maybe Bastilla lead was actually better for banners. Could have also thought of that. So many targets. Let's go for Piet first, because I don't really want Dark to build up any stacks. It's probably wasteful. Alright, this seems like a good way to get those stacks off of Finn so that he doesn't counter. Start taking down Dark stacks. Do an AoE here, reduce that turn meter. Perfect. Let's pick off Daka before she does anything. Dispel the advantage. Stun him. And see if we can get JKR back to full. I think he's there right now. That was a bit risky actually, should have made sure Daka is dead. But pretty easy 60. I've still got a solo Malik as well. I was thinking maybe I'm gonna land some kind of team where I can use it, but I wouldn't really risk it against Thrawn and Treya. I think they're gonna have a bit too much control over him. I mean, they don't have firepower, but without too much certainty, I don't think I want to do that one. So Mandalorian, it was armor and the Mandalorian, not Beskar Mando. If I recall correctly. Do I have any first order left? I do, so I throw in Hux and Officer. And that should allow me to get pretty much full banners there as well, I hope. Unless there's any character that I would piss off. But it doesn't look like it. Okay, can anyone survive the stab is the question, because then I can AoE on them. Probably Jolie. There we go. Do this, and then wipe out a few, or everyone. For a very nice 60. So on fleets, here we use the Negotiator. There's no point in doing Malevolence. I think I'm just going to drop a ton of banners, maybe have a bit of a better chance on the other one. So we can go for the faster lineup here. Put in Blow, 5s, and Ahsoka, and I think that's enough. Maybe it's even too much. Yeah, it's going to be too much because their reinforcements are going to be crappy, so this is fine. And if it's not fine, I don't have to worry too much, but I'd rather just one-shot everything on his board. Of course, their Negotiator goes first. Oh, this is so lame. Well, I'm gonna have to eat my words probably. Because this is not gonna go too well. Do I have... I've got healing immunity too. Alright. Should have probably put in 5s to hit Ahsoka there, to make sure that couldn't happen. And it looks like this is gonna be a full wipe, which would actually become pretty problematic. Let's see if I put in 5s. It's gonna have to be. It's gonna be my best shot at taking some ships down a bit. And I might already use it here, I think I will. Because I don't have any other ways to land target lock on any of them. Okay, pretty catastrophic failure here. Let's see if we can keep these ships around a bit longer. Don't know how it is for you guys in Fleet Arena. In my Fleet Arena, even though both have Relegate Negotiator with all the mods maxed, which is why I should have seen this coming, but even with all that, I always go last. It's like a 1 in 10 chance or something that I don't. Which is, yeah, a bit too much of a coincidence, I think anyway. Oof. Okay, we're just gonna focus on the reinforcement here, like none of the others will get close to dying, there's not much of a point. Maybe I get a small chance of picking something off here. And then there's one ship less to take out, but no. There comes the heal I was concerned about, which is game over. Unless I still get my ultimate off, but no, it's gonna be, of course I don't have ships to take turns with. Alright, that's disappointing. It's also the small chance that they're gonna go for your Anakin first with Ahsoka. Anyway, use this one. And then Malevolence is gonna be, finalizer garbage, probably. Okay, a basic from the capital ship is pretty sweet. Cleanse these and try to pick off Ahsoka before any nonsense comes in. Probably gonna be blow, isn't it? No, okay, nice. Got something creative going. So I think an AoE from the capital ship and Anakin's dead. That was the vulture droid. So instead of calling in spy, I'm gonna do that. Pick off 2 ships. I should have probably just used this in the first place, or done the lineup with 5s, but that's whatever. So yeah, I definitely underestimated the fleet, because I'm also just wanting to go to dinner, and I still need to climb at arena, so I'm rushing this a bit, which is not so good. I mean, he's gonna basic first anyway. Let's ability block this one. Oh, come on. Are we really doing this? Like, I don't even want to go for him here, but I have to. I'd much rather already take out Vader, but then I would regret it. But now it's gonna cost me ships. Okay, focus down Vader. Silencer has already been cleansed. Oh, we got a Houndstooth. Let's pick him off. No, come on. This is not gonna stun. I'll do an AoE here, though nobody is hunted. Still better. That's the Xanadu Blood, a Relic 5 pilot which just got its ass whooped like it was a Gear 12. So let's see if we got any big hits yet. We'll need it. That was great. Stun this guy. Resist it, as one does. These vultures are still just as annoying with this fleet. Got it done. It's gonna be below 50, like below 60, I mean 55. So if I were to have 20 more banners from not losing that dumb match, then 2650 is a pretty good score, considering an auto deploy. Unfortunately now it's double shot and just 2630, but yeah, by good preparation at least you make sure that you can full clear. Don't prepare, probably don't end up full clearing. So hopefully my opponent and I get a rematch at some point, and then we can do it properly, and then I'll definitely message him beforehand to see if he's gonna set a defense. Yeah, good luck in your Grand Arena season, and I'll see you around.